Isn't that funny? I have more Sony news that I just don't hear from these channels. I'm not seeing this information being platformed on the other channels. As soon as Microsoft and Nintendo get themselves a little bit of a jam, you know, all these channels just come out and quickly just pounce on this information. But when it comes to Sony, it's kept on a small, silent little lid. Yeah. And what's funny is Sony needs the most help. And yet, these channels who claim to be professionals need to give their information on how to help a business. These companies are making billions upon trillions of dollars, and they can't even make 500 subscribers. And yet, they want to tell Microsoft and Nintendo what to do to better their company. You only got a couple thousand subscribers, man. I don't think Nintendo really needs your help. Anywho. Amy Henning. I don't know her name. Amy Henning. Does anybody know who Amy Henning is? Does anybody? Because I didn't know. Maybe you guys know. You guys are more up to date on these type of things than I am. I really don't know the creators of certain games. I know a couple of creators. I know that guy who made Mega Man. You know, I mean, I know. I don't really know they when it comes to the creation of the games. But Amy Henning, I want to give a single clap of the hands right now out to her. I'm not sure if Sony dropped her or if she left. A lot of the females are doing their thing when it comes to the new wave of games, and they're really dominating. I even seen in Arrow, I watch Arrow every week. There's a female doing the right work for that. So I'm like, man, these females are dominating right now. Which is cool. You know, my baby sister, it's when she gets to that age to able to perform. Listen, I'm off topic, but anyway. Amy Henning is walked out. She says she's going to go the independent route. She doesn't want to deal with the Uncharted series anymore. Uncharted is a very popular game amongst the Sony fan base. Well, more or less Uncharted 2. 1 and 3 seems to be ignored for some reason. 1, Sony fanboys didn't really know about. They were more worried about the kill zones and the resistances and first-person shooters that they thought were going to come in and just dominate the first-person field. Where Halo was just destroying the competition. They really thought that out of those two things, resistance and kill zone, they were and mags and things of that such, they were going to come in, they were going to take over Halo, we're going to beat Call of Duty, and it just never happened. I mean, every year they're jumping on some new first-person shooters to take out Halos and Call of Duties, but it just never works. Never works. Not until Uncharted 2 won its Game of the Year on, I think it was Spike TV or other gaming platforms, IGNs and things of that such. That's when the Sony fan base started really pouring in and saying this game was so great and amazing. Call me a liar. I remember I used to watch this channel back in the day called NoobTube, and the guy used to be like, man, Uncharted is so good. It's so good, but the Sony fanboys don't seem to fight for this game. Like, they don't really care. And it's like, there was a couple of mutters there in the comment section. No, we know Uncharted is great. But it was more of a heavy focus on the kill zones. You know, Sony fanboys really wanted you to love kill zone. Even to this day, they just want people to love this game. And it's like, people are like, the game sucks. We don't want to love it. But anywho, Uncharted 2 came out, got the awards, really opened up people's eyes into how good the game was. And all of a sudden, this became this big uproar of, Uncharted! Naughty Dog! You know what I'm saying? Oh, Naughty Dog was the same company that made Crash Bandicoot? You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm a Sony fanboy, so you can't really beat me, Sony fanboys, because I know the history. Uncharted 3 came out and IGN lied and gave it tens. The people played it. The people spend their hard-earned money. They went out and purchased the game, and the game was complete trash. It sucks. Now, the hype for the Uncharted is not as high. Yes, there's a couple of little mutters and slutters here and where. Slutters. Mutters in the comment section talking about, I can't wait for the next Uncharted series. But I kind of hold out with a grain of salt. Don't get, you know what I'm saying? I don't really believe them fully. You know, some people are saying I'm only going to buy a PlayStation 4 when Uncharted comes out. I would prefer to buy the PlayStation 4 when it doesn't have any games compared to just waiting to buy for Uncharted 4. As a matter of fact, I'll just keep waiting, you know? Even though PlayStation 4 and the Wii U are my go-to consoles, of course, I will get the Wii U sooner than later. Compared to the PlayStation 4, I will wait a couple years, like I did with the PlayStation 3. I was really mad that they wanted to charge $600 for a console that just didn't have anything. Terrible online service, it didn't have games, it didn't have anything. So I waited till the PlayStation 3 dropped down completely to the point where Sony wasn't going to make $1 off of my money. Basically, they were losing money. Basically, me paying the little bit amount of money I did for my PlayStation 3, they basically didn't earn a profit, and by all means, that made me happy. To get back to the point, like I said, there wasn't really a big fan base for Uncharted, man. It came as soon as the awards started dropping, and that's where it really opened up a lot of people's eyes. That's why a lot of people started really, the game probably came out during Christmas time. The game didn't really start getting popular until the summertime. Anywho. Oh man, I'm too good. Anywho. The girl has dropped, and I always say, when I hear people start leaving, when the main people have left Square Enix, when the main people have left Capcom, when the main people have, there's one guy, creator, who made Resident Evil, and he told Capcom, because he wanted to make it for the Nintendo. He made Resident Evil 4, I want to say, and he told Capcom, listen, I just want to have it on the I want to say the N64, the GameCube. That's it. Capcom went out and put it on the PlayStation 2. He said, if you do that, I'm going to leave. He left. And the franchise just hasn't been the same. You know? It's basically been just an embarrassment to gaming. Now he's off. He's about to make his own survival horror game. It looks amazing. I'm sorry I don't know the name at this time. It looks like it's going back to survival horror roots. Dead Space 1 was really taking it there, and I think this guy's going to take it there because he's a master. He's a genius. He knows what he's doing. Now, when you put in somebody who's not a master, but it might be good, this is what's happening right now with the Uncharted series. This girl did an amazing job with the Uncharted series. I think Uncharted 2 is a good game. I didn't play part 1. I played a little bit of 3, and I was like, it's a little, you know, I thought it was a little boring. But nothing against her. But she did a great job with Uncharted 2. Now she's leaving, and then they're going to bring in the guy who did The Last of Us. The Last of Us is a great game. I think it's probably the. I mean, I've heard 10 times and seen better 10 times stories. I'm an RPG gamer. I've seen that on RPGs 10 times better. So I'm not going to say he's the best story writer or he made one of the best stories, because that's not true. But in the generation of bad games, let's put it that way, from Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War, Killzone, Resistance, Uncharted is another good story one, but I think Last of Us story is a little better. That's only because it's more of intenseness, because there's a zombie apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? That's more intense to it. So, you know, I think this guy has created the best story out of the bad games of these past generations, of this generation. You know what I'm saying? And is that really, you know, he's won by default? Is that really an applaud? Yes, it's an applaud. But when it comes to the gameplay, I thought I was bored. You know, I couldn't wait to go through and slug my way through this guy's terrible gameplay to get to the pretty good story. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't like the gameplay. I was throwing bricks. I mean, yes, the attacks were violent, but you know, it was corny, man. It was Adam Sessler lied to me big time. Talking about, oh man, the combat system is. And I'm like, Adam Sessler, are you sure? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I was bored to tears. Anywho, by taking away that soul of the game, Amy, by her going, I don't know if she quit or if they fired her. She probably wants a raise, so they probably fired her. Or she probably thought I could make more money if I go independent. Yeah, it's got to be something to do with money, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. By taking away that soul of every little thing, every little Final Fantasy, you took away the soul. You're taking away the soul, the game's just not going to be the same. Of course it's going to be hyped, and overhyped even more before the game comes out. But when the game comes out, it just gets real quiet all of a sudden. But I think this is bad business, bad news. More bad news coming out of the Sony camp that we need to report. Amy leaving is a bad thing. Bringing in the guy from Last of Us, who did a good job on Last of Us, who did a good story. You know, I'm more of a gamer than a storyer. I'm more of both. You know what I'm saying? The RPGs have both. They got the, you know what I'm saying, the game and the story. But anyhow, let's end the video up with this, man. I'm rambling a little bit too long. Amy, I wish you best. Naughty Dog. It kind of sucks that Naughty Dog has to hold. It's basically holding Sony's life in their hand right now. Because the Uncharted series is probably the only series of Sony's gaming repertoire that people can actually enjoy on any platform, from Nintendo, Sony. Any fanboy can say, you know, I would like to play Uncharted on my console. I can see that. Me personally, I it's not my cup of tea. I played part 2. I understood it, and that's enough. That's all I need. I don't need 4. If you know, I just don't need it. You know, listen, it's another video for another day. You know, I like to ramble. But anyway, Naughty Dog, that's a lot of weight on your shoulders, man. A lot of weight on your shoulders. These other companies, the Killzones and all them other Insomniac, they need to step it up, man, because it's not fair, yo. People are leaving. People are getting fired. It's not looking good over there in the Sony camp, man. And like I say, Dreamcast was doing better. Dreamcast had a strong cult following. Sony doesn't. They just have fanboys. Cult following are different from fanboys. Fanboys they talk all this smack on the internet, but they won't buy a game for nothing, monkey. Get them to buy a game. I told this story about the kid. And this was only $10. He was like, whoa, a single small sweat came out of his right temple. Still didn't buy it, monkey. You know?